morning's PCE.
All right. All right, we are back for another Friday financial wrap-up with Mr. Michael Zuber. How are you, Michael?
I'm doing well, man. Thanks for coming to Vegas. It's always good to see you.
Are we in frame? All right. So let's just go ahead and get it started. We're in Las Vegas. We're recording this on Thursday. Tell them where we're at.
We are at Grow with Video, Sean Cannell's great event. We just saw Cody Sanchez, just had a private meet and greet, some questions. We get Dave Ramsey later today, and been a lot of fun, Sean. Great job.
I love it. So let's get right into it. This is for April the 26th. We're recording this on Thursday. Let's talk about interest rates, mortgage rates, 7.5%. What are you seeing?
Yeah, mortgage rates popped over 7. 10-year note was up 8%. We've really got to think about it, right? There was a lot of people saying rates were going, lower, lower, lower. The Fed now is being priced in 36% chance of no cuts. 4 months ago, there were 6 or 7 cuts, folks. Higher for longer.
Higher for longer. We've been saying, if you've been watching the show, you know higher for longer has been a theme for a long time now. Let's keep going. Let's talk about new home sales. What did you see this week?
Man, the experts keep getting it wrong. The new home sales shocked a lot of people, but not us. The experts were calling for something like a 1% bump in new home sales. I said on Sunday it's going to be a barn burner and a blowout. It was almost a 9% beat. Why? Because builders don't have 7.5% mortgage rates. Builders are playing at 5.5 or 6. This is not hard. These silly experts are not paying attention. Just stupid.
Pay attention to the show. Daily Financial News, you've been talking about this for a long time. Let's keep going. Let's talk about existing home sales. What did you see this week and your thoughts?
Existing home sales played out just as expected. Again, we talked about it on Sunday. What happened? Rates are racing higher. In the short term, what happens is people lean forward. They lock in the mortgage rates. They put something in a contract. So again, pending home sales up. They beat the experts. I think it was up 3.5%. They were calling for like a 1% beat. Again, You got to watch consumers. Consumers are predictable. But here we go. What's going to happen as the weeks go by? Pending home sales are going to go down. That momentary rush of marginal demand will play out. We will start to get inventory build, days on market building, folks. We already know at 8%, real estate turns off. So we're over 7.5. So buckle up.
I would say for my fix and flip friends, get your projects done.
Get them done.
Get them to market. Let's be early. Let's not wait till the summer and, potentially be competing with 8% mortgage rates. Would you agree? Or?
I mean, just if you weren't around for Q1 last year, let me tell you what happened. A lot of people lost a lot of money. 8% mortgage rates turns off buyers. They'll just wait. They'll rent. You don't want to be having your flip come out at 8% mortgage. That's not good.
Very interesting. Do you think that we are still 4.3 million transaction sales for 2024, or what is your thought on the over/under, or just general thoughts about how the year finishes? Is it like last year?
I think it's gonna be like last year. I think if you said 4.3 was the number for pending home sales, I would take the under. Now, not by a lot. I'd be somewhere like 4.18, 4.22, somewhere in there.
Okay.
Not sub 4. There's a lot of people calling for sub 4 million. I just don't think that plays. There's enough cash in the system. There's enough stuff that you have to sell. I still think we do 4 million. Okay. But one last thing is we will have another month sub 4 million, right? Because when they annualize the sale, right, we will have several below 4 million. But I think when you look at the year, it'll just be over 4 million.
Based on the bump up of these rates.
Yep, correct.
Okay. All right, let's keep going. So GDP, what is it? Explain it for someone who's brand new, and what happened this week?
Yeah, so we just got, I think it came on Thursday, we just got the gross domestic product, GDP. And it's basically what did we produce in the economy. And it was expected to come in for Q1 at about 2.6. Okay. It came in at 1.6. Sure. Unfortunately, not only did that happen, but also there's a pricing component inside of GDP, and it was up, aka inflation. Inflation came in hot. Inflation went up again. We've had like 5 or 6 inflation readings in a row, hot. And the reason we're recording this Thursday is we get another one tomorrow on Friday. It could move the market. So we'll talk about it tomorrow if it's important. But we are potentially looking at stagflation.
Stagflation. That was our next talking point. What is stagflation? What does it mean? And specifically for a homeowner, a one rental at a time investor, or realtor, real estate professional, loan officer, what does stagflation mean what is it and what does it mean to the real estate community?
Yeah, if stagflation is a new term for you, I would suggest spending 20 minutes to go on Wikipedia and look it up because it is nasty. It is unfortunately one of those things that the Fed doesn't have tools for. Let me explain. With stagflation, you have a slow economy, slow growth. What does the Fed do when the economy is not growing? They cut rates. However, there's another part of stagflation, inflation. That means inflation is running hotter. What do they do when inflation runs hot? They raise rates.
Right.
So stagflation is this odd combination where the Fed's tools, they help one, they hurt the other.
Yep.
And that's a nasty scenario. In fact, again, go back and look at 1978, 79.
Yeah.
It was just a terrible economy. And it wasn't until Paul Volcker came in and said, I got to pick what's worse. He said inflation's worse. So he took rates up to 18%, slammed the economy into a 1981 recession that was deep and dark and nasty. And then you can use the tools to get out because then you cut rates and the economy grows again. But stagflation is bad. Like in economics when we studied it, it's like we don't want it. You want a recession before stagflation.
Interesting.
It is that bad.
Very interesting. So just looking at with stagflation then, basically a broken housing market. You were the first person I heard talking about a broken housing market. Do we see a broken and even what we described as a weird housing market going into the summer selling season?
Yeah, I mean, think about if stagflation really goes, because it's gone from a possibility to likely and maybe soon probable, right? It's going to go up that percentage curve. Yeah. And let's just play it this way. You're running at a GDP growth of say 1.5. You have inflation at 4. You've got, the mortgage rates at 8.25. You got the 10-year note at 5.25.
Yep.
The economy it's going to be like running in quicksand, right? So unemployment probably goes from 3.7 to like 5 or 5.5. Again, bad, but not bad enough for the Fed to cut. That's why stagflation sucks, because you have all of these bad things, but you also have these other bad things, and you can't fix one without the other. And it eventually comes down to a point where somebody, and it won't be Powell, it'll be the next person that says, damn it, I'm going to cause a recession. They're going to jack rates up 3-4%, whatever it is. And then we have the recession, then they clean it up, right? They light the house on fire and then they put it out.
Be prepared.
Yeah.
Be prepared.
Yeah,
I'm getting nervous. My palms are sweating again. So. But the Fed's in a tough spot. I mean, you feel pretty complete on that point?
Yeah, I mean, I just think about what you would do, right? You have two tools. Your tools are not sharp. They're very dull instruments.
Yep.
You know how to use them to bring inflation down. You know how to use them to grow the economy.
Okay.
But you have an economy that's on both of those. It's a tough call.
Tough call. So last point, we're going to finish strong here. Grow with video. Speaking of video, we have a special guest here. Is he available? Can you come and step into the frame? Mr. Adrian Hernandez, folks.
Financial news. What's going on, guys?
Hop in here, man.
What's going on?
Let's talk about takeaways from Grow with Video. Just overall, the last day and a half, 2 days. What's kind of for you?
I think yesterday was huge. First and foremost, guys, if you guys aren't tuning into these Friday financial news wrap-ups, you got to get it together. That was huge, what Zuber just said. And I got a question for him for buyers. However, yesterday was huge, right? I think over-delivered at this event, right? I completely over-delivered. Yeah. And yesterday what I got was like really taking time to research what you're doing before doing it. Like one thing I see you do very well, right? Mm-hmm. Like your numbers like the back of your hand, like right. just this little segment that I just watched, like everything is on point. And how many of us just hop into a video, record it and then post it without doing any research, right? So that was big. Like when Sean laid out that one video that was a full diagram from start to finish was huge. So I think doing the research before posting the video and then really getting clear on something we talked about, like who is your audience on YouTube, right? Like there's so many of us that are so diversify, or they're talking to 40, they're talking to 50, but yet they're 20 and they're trying to talk to the 20-year-olds at the same time, right? It's like getting really, really clear on the niche. I think that was huge. This event has been over the top. I got a question for Zuber on the buyers. What do buyers do, right? I don't want to rent, Zuber, because I got a family. Yep. My wife is tired of renting. She's demanding a home. I got to buy a home. What do buyers do?
Well, again, that's a great question because, again, I want to be clear. I will likely be purchasing property, so that's a good question. But what I would tell a buyer today is don't chase. This is not the time for bidding wars. This is not the time. Like if you're doing an entry-level home, remember it's an entry-level home. It's not your forever home. Yeah. Don't overextend. Be very conservative. Fixed rate debt because you don't know where we're going. But yeah, I would learn your buy box, and I get very comfortable writing disrespectful offers. If this slows down like I think and inventory builds, your job as a buyer, and you guys know this, when do you make your money? When you buy.
Right.
Most people think you make money when you sell. It's just, that's when you recognize the money. This is the time for buyers to realize if the market slows down like I think it will, it's the buyer that will have the power. For the last 3 years, the seller had the power. A lot of people watching this don't remember buyer markets. I've been doing this 25 years. It does happen. And we could go there again. So if you are a buyer, you're in a situation, realize you got the power, act like it. Don't chase, don't bidding wars, don't do anything stupid like waive conditions. Go get it all inspected. I'm excited. I mean, one of the things that I want people to hear, as a buyer, I'm excited. I want a slower housing market. I want less competition. What will 8% mortgage rates do? It'll drop competition. So buyers should get excited and then run the numbers like at 8%. And if it works, great. Because someday rates will go down. You'll do a cash out refi or rate and term and win, win, win. So I would tell buyers to get excited because the sun has been shining on the backs of sellers for too long. It's time to come over here. So it could happen this year.
So good.
Do you believe that there needs to be some education for the real estate agents in that sector because so many of them are off the chart when it comes to that?
I think real estate agents in general could always skill up. I think that's something I've seen for the last 20 years. But I think in an environment where you could stick a sign in the ground and get paid, right? These kind of Instagram realtors, that time's over. And you've got to skill up. And then you got this whole NAR settlement that just got approved, and it's the time, especially if you're representing buyers. I would create a menu of services and over communicate. Dude, if I was a buyer's agent, instantly, I would go find out every investor in my market that bought more than 2 properties last year, and I would be cold calling the hell out of them. And I would say, what's your buy box? What's your buy box? What are you buying? What are you buying? If I bring you that, will you buy it and you take care of me and sign this and sign that? I mean, it's the time to skill up. Some people are going to survive and kill it. I mean, some of you out there who do this will have their best year ever. Most of you are going to whine and bitch and cry and go become baristas, but that's okay.
Would you like fries with that?
Yeah, right. So good. Adrian, where can people find you?
You guys check me out on Instagram at Adrian Hernandez. This is the Friday Financial News Wrap Up.
Yeah. Thank you guys. Thanks for watching. If you like this is on Michael's YouTube channel. Please like and subscribe. Anything else? Parting words?
No, just keep going. Keep. Oh, let's look at the sign. What does it say? Just press record.
What does your hat say? I love
it. Show
them your hat.
Do the work.
Do the work, folks. Thanks for watching.
Later.
See ya.
Nice. That was fun. That was fun.
What app is that?
It's